Good evening, Summoners. Welcome to the Garena Premier League Week 3, day number 3. Casting today will be J Storm and I Freedom. And today we will be having some very exciting matches lined up for you. So hold on to your seats as we bring you through the pre-game and run through yesterday's results before we move in to today's matches itself. So let's take a look at the results of what happened yesterday. So let's try to bring that up on the screen. And I Freedom, run us through what happened.
Alright, so yesterday we saw the Singapore squad ISG Legends go up against Zotac 269. ISG Legend coming out on top of that series. Incredible game coming from Hallelujah and Rapier. They're gonna take that series 2-0. And then we moved on to the Malaysian players. Bizarro Cadence by up against Kuala Lumpur Hunters. And though those matches were a bit closer than expected, Kuala Lumpur Hunters managed to come out on top and take that series 2-0 as well.
So definitely indeed props to you if you had watched those games. So these are the standings in Group D after yesterday's match. Standing on top of the table, tied for first place, will be both Incidents Gaming Legends as well as the Kuala Lumpur Hunters with 4 points apiece. And in third place will be Zotac 269 with 3 points. And in last place, without a win yet, is Bizarro K. Thanks, bye.
Alright, so you can see on your screen right now, this will be today's schedule. Wargods PID Diamonds will be up against Bangkok Titans in our first best of 2 series today. Following that will be GameX Wargods up against Asus Fate.
So I'm definitely very excited to see what these teams have to bring to the table. We have to take a look at the standings, however. Bangkok Titans, they have had a very meteoric rise to the top of the GPL. A lot of people would never have expected top of the GPL and Bangkok Titans to be in the same sentence, but here they are sitting on top of their group with 6 points. In second place will be Asus Fate tied together with GameX Wargods. We will be seeing that broken up today a little bit. And in last place, Wargods PID Diamond, once again without picking up a win just yet. So today we have the top of the table versus bottom of the table, but nonetheless here we are into pick and ban already. Zed, Trash and Jarvan being banned out by Wargods. And on the side of Bangkok Titans, Zareth, Azir as well as Jenna being banned out by the Bangkok Titans. So we see the Lissandra being first pick, a very strong power pick. Note that both Lissandra as well as Nar were left open, and Nar hasn't been taken up just yet. Wargods electing to snatch away the power pick of the Lissandra.
So interesting to see here that BKT has locked in their AD carry and Pantheon jungle for 777X. 777X is really proficient on that Pantheon. He is very good with aggressive junglers, but locking that Corki, a very good pick. Interesting to see that Wargods are trying to decide whether they want to pick up that Tristana against that Corki pick. As we know, Corki has a very strong laning phase. Tristana not the best laning phase, so that's quite a hard lane to go up against. But Nage on that LeBlanc, that's a very strong pick. As we saw earlier this week, LeBlanc just putting off amazing plays, getting kills and kills in lane, out of lane, really making an impact on this week's games.
Definitely indeed, LeBlanc, one of the flavor of the month at the moment, a very strong assassin, especially without the Lissandra available for the opponent team. LeBlanc's ability with a mobility to zoom in and out of fights and simply find picks on softer, squishier targets is simply amazing. And it looks like they are going for the Tristana pick. Rather interesting that they will show their hand, picking up their core carry as well as the solo laners and picking the utility later for Wargods. Whereas on the side of Bangkok Titans, Corki first pick, you're right, very strong, very bully laner of sorts. Pantheon, very aggressive jungler. 777X, he's got one of the best game senses. His mechanics as a jungler aren't there just yet, but when you're on a champion such as Pantheon, it's just point and click, point and stun. Very easy, very much less room for errors. We have seen him pick up a few times with the Elise as well as Lee Sin. So it looks like BKT, what else will they opt for over here? Are they going to reply with the LeBlanc with an assassin of their own? They're hovering over the Fizz at the moment.
So Bangkok Titans is going to leave up their top laner.
Oh, it is going to be the Fizz in this case. So they are going to be last picking the top laner for themselves. And it's going to be double fishes here. Nami being locked in as well for the Bangkok Titans. Wargods hovering over Garen as well as Timo. I think they're just trolling us at the moment. What do you think they are actually going to be locking in here?
Right, so we see they still have the jungler pick left open. There could be a nice Elise pick coming out, or they could go with a Sejuani pick. Meme, however, likes to play some very unorthodox champions in that jungle. He did pick up Nautilus as well as Xin Zhao, so we really can't tell what Meme's gonna pick up in that jungle. Shura probably gonna play some meta support. I don't think that Teemo's gonna be locked in, and it'll be the Nautilus for Meme. And the Fiddlestick support, wow, that's interesting. So bringing back that Fiddlesticks in a support role, they might be looking for that lane swap because we do know that Tristana is not going to have the best of time in the lane against Corki. So I guess it's up to BKT to find out their top lane champion as, yep, Meme locks in that Nautilus jungle. Very, very strong engager. He has that depth charge where he locks down the target once he hits 6, but pre-6, he probably has a weaker ganking potential as Pantheon, who does have that click and stun as a skill shot.
Well, some people have said, however, that Nautilus is very strong against very mobile champions such as LeBlanc, such as Fizz. His ability to simply lock them down with the depth charge as well as simply going in with the anchor hook puts a lot of pressure onto the mid lane as well. So we have to see how this mid lane matchup works as Fizz as well as Pantheon going up against LeBlanc as well as Nautilus. So we have to see what BKT will be choosing to last pick for themselves. The Gnar is available. Not really sure how well that does against Lissandra. Some people feel that Lissandra does better, some people feel that Gnar does better, but the strength of Lissandra lies in the ability to roam around the map and make the picks with a double CC coming with the Chain of Frost, with the Ring of Frost, sorry, as well as the Frozen Tomb. So it looks like they're not going to go for the Gnar, and it will be the Lulu pick over here. I really like this Lulu pick simply because they have a Tristana, and if you have the Lulu, you're able to sometimes mess up those resets. You don't calculate for the wall growth correctly, and you can kind of get screwed over by Lulu's ultimate.
Yes, Lulu has the better laning against Lissandra. She does have that polymorph, so whenever Lissandra's Claws of Doom in, there is that chance that she can't get ultimate off right away if the Lulu is fast enough to react. As well, even if Lissandra locks down someone with the Frozen Tome, Wild Growth can just negate that damage, and really, because of the way that Frozen Tome works, your team's gonna get around that target that's been locked down. So if the AoE slow coming out from Wild Growth, it's gonna help BKT turn around the fight. If a priority target such as Lloyd or that a G4 gets locked down, they still have the backup plan to re-engage on the enemy team.
Definitely indeed, and here's the thing with the Wild Growth, even when Fizz is on his troll pole, he still gets the slow aura down onto his opponents. This is going to give them a lot of diving potential into the backline of Wargods, and you have to be a little bit concerned over here, because on the side of Wargods, Tristana, that's a rather squishy champion if the Fizz can get to her. Fiddlesticks as well is one of the squishiest champions in the game. I think he has got the lowest base health and the lowest stat growth as well in that area, but he makes up for this by bringing a lot of utility to the table. So Fizz, G4 on Fizz has to be careful not to walk into a Terrify if he overextends into the Fiddlesticks.
So interesting that, so now that we know that BKT has that Corki Nami bot lane, Wargods have that Tristana Fiddlesticks, do you think we're gonna see a lane swap coming out? Because we do know that Tristana, as we mentioned time and time again, is not gonna have the best of time against Corki. They will look towards that late game scaling from Tristana though, considering that they do have a bunch of lockdown on their team.
I'm not really sure how the lane swap mechanics now work with all the new patches and all the jungle changes, but there has been a rather recurring trend. Usually the Vietnamese teams when they play, I mean neither of these are Vietnamese teams, but when the Vietnamese teams play, they tend to lane swap when they are on the raid side. So in this case, Bangkok Titans, they might be the ones to initiate a lane swap in this situation because they have range champion in the form of a Lulu. They can send a Nami as well as Lulu to lane, and then they can have the Corki up the top lane. It's still a pretty okay lane for themselves. Wargods, however, Lissandra, I do believe her range is a little bit shorter, only about 500. Was it 450 on the Lissandra? So she's more susceptible to being bullied out as compared to their opponents over here. However, Wargods, they might want to try to lane swap a little bit to avoid the Fiddlesticks Tristana against Nami Corki matchup, because the amount of burst damage coming from Corki might be difficult to deal with in the early stages.
Right, so they do, and with the sustain coming in from Nami, the Fiddlesticks poke damage that you see coming out from Dark Wind is not really going to matter a lot in that 2v2 lane. So it's really up to Wargods to decide if they really want to go for that lane swap, and will they be willing to put Ethan in a lane where Lloyd and Valen's just going to get like free damage. If the bubble lands, she's going to die.
What's interesting here is that this Fiddlestick picks opens up a lot of interesting options, a lot of interesting cheeses that are available for the team in the jungle, simply because the Dark Wind clears out camps so quickly. I'm not surprised if Wargods they go for rather aggressive invade. I mean, some people feel that Terrify is really important in the level 1 fight, but Dark Wind is also really good as well because it does tons of damage, and if it bounces around, it kind of silences your entire opponent's team if they run into you in the jungle. So I think there is this possibility that Wargods going for very aggressive jungle invade together with Lissandra as well. Pop the teleport and then let the Lissandra get back to the lane and try to disrupt BKT as much as possible.
There is a point, but Meme, however, is playing Nautilus and he doesn't really have that best of level 1s. I mean, his passive is really strong in a invade, but he doesn't have the skills necessary. If he lands an anchor on the wall, he's gonna be he has the gap closer, but he doesn't have that impact that you need in a level 1 invade. Because if Nautilus has a very bad start in the jungle, he's not gonna have a very good time. And before 6, his ganks are not really gonna be that impressive coming in.
Well, I mean, he still does have the skill shot. If he lands the skill shot, it's followed up by whoever's in the lane. There's lots of kill potential as well. Nautilus LeBlanc, Nautilus Lissandra. You're running Nautilus alongside double assassins. I kind of like the Nautilus here actually, with the composition and the way it interacts with Diamond's composition. But we have to look at the big picture overall, and we have to look at the laning phases itself. Now, in the current patch, you can play so many jungles in the jungle, but the question is, if your opponent goes something like Lee Sin, if your opponent goes Elise, are you simply going to get bullied out of your own jungle? And now that we see the Pantheon, the side Bangkok Titans, are we going to be seeing lots of solo kills and a lot of pressure being placed onto the Nautilus early on?
Yeah, well, we did mention that BKT have a very mobile team. If Nautilus misses that skill shot, there is a high chance that he can get turned around. Pantheon 007X can be there to counteract that gank. He does have that stronger stun lockdown. It's a guaranteed lockdown if Nautilus is a little bit too overextended, and his team can just follow up with the burst damage that they have. I mean, Corki, Nami has her own CC, Fizz has a bunch of burst damage. So up to Meme to make sure that he gets the ganks off and make sure that 007X is not in the vicinity to counteract that.
Okay, great. Now that we have broken down kind of the team compositions on both sides, it's time for story time of Bangkok Titans. So a lot of people, Bangkok Titans was synonymous with the jokes of the GPL. At one point of time, they will go there. Maybe if they're lucky, they pick one game off or anything. But never mind that. We save story time for later, because here we are into the game on Summoner's Rift. Spawning on the red side, we have the Bangkok Titans. And on the blue side, we will be having PID Diamond.
Right, so going into this game, PID Diamonds looking for that. Will they go for the lane swap? We do see Ethan going, or Eben rather, going up to the top lane. Meanwhile, BKT is sticking very closely together. Will BKT go for that early invade as opposed to Wargods?
Oh, this looks a little bit dangerous. They're all grouped up over here. Will they find the Nautilus? So Memes does spot them out. BKT going around the sides. They do find Meme. They don't just pull the trigger just yet. He knows that all 5 of them are over there. So it looks like we're having a little bit of problem with the sound. So a little bit of technical issues. Not sure if we'll be changing over to different screen or different broadcast setting this game. But nonetheless, we apologize on behalf of production, so for the lack of sound. But we have to see how things goes from here.
So BKT just went into the enemy jungle and they just dropped the deep ward onto the red buff. I'm pretty sure Wargod knows that their red buff has been warded. They are sticking around that red side jungle, gonna spot out that invade.
Are you switching this game or next game?
If they want to get that. But looks like Nautilus will be heading back to his blue buff. Meanwhile, Pantheon's gonna start on the Crux. So looks like Nautilus is gonna have that easy jungle start, and there's no invades coming from both teams as we go back to us.
So a little bit of a technical problems. We're back to the casters once again, but nonetheless, so just to break things down again, we see a lane swap coming from Diamond, and on the side BKT. Was there a lane swap?
I do not think so.
So there wasn't any response from BKT. So we are going to have a lane swap scenario, and we will be seeing how those two pan out against each other. So we're going to have the Tristana as well as the Fiddlesticks in the top lane going up against the Lulu. And in the bottom lane, it will be Lissandra versus Nami as well as Corki. Oh, here we are into the game already. G4 going a little bit aggressive onto Nage. I'm not really sure how to pronounce this name. So if someone out there knows how to pronounce it, do drop us a tweet at #GPL. Let us know with the phonetic spelling. Best if you can cite it. State your citations over there, preferred in APA format. Good luck fitting that in 140 characters. And let us know how it's supposed to be pronounced.
Alright, so we saw Pantheon starting on that red buff. But because of the lane swaps, Warlord's gonna be doing that buddy system. Ethan, however, he did get very low in the jungle, didn't know what happened there. Maybe he tried to solo the Razor Beaks, but it looks like he will be joining up Meme in that jungle as well. So both junglers and top laners gonna do that buddy system. Meanwhile, Nage, LeBlanc and Fizz finding out that mid lane.
Okay, let's settle for Nage.
Nage.
Oh, nah, okay. I actually kind of like the sound of Nage better.
I think I'll stay with Nage.
Fine by you, I'm gonna go with Nage this game. So we are gonna have Iban as well as Nage. It sounds like the kind of things you shout that minions in Despicable Me shout Iban, Nage, right after one another. So 007X in the jungle over here. This is rather interesting because usually when you have a Nautilus jungle, the entire idea is that he's a rather defensive champion and he will take very little damage during his jungle piling. So in this case, it looks like Meme hasn't gotten the right build down for the Nautilus as he's taken a whole chunk of damage. We see if he is able to make any ganks as compared to 007X, they're going to run into each other over here in the bottom lane. We might see a 3-man dive onto this, but they've spotted out Meme already. It's a little bit dangerous. The Nautilus is backing off, however, but going up against the Ring of Frost of the Lissandra. Now that's a dangerous move. Nonetheless, Ethan doing a good job of soaking up the experience in the bottom lane.
Right, so with that early buddy system, Ethan and as well as Warlock, they went into lane at level 3. So there was really no fear of them getting ganked. Meanwhile, 007 is going to make a play in mid.
Here we go into the mid lane. Nage completely out of mana. 007X goes onto him, however. He gets the auto off. One last auto. He doesn't get it. Teleport comes in from the Lissandra, but it is going to be cancelled.
Questionable choice to use that teleport right there. As even G4 was already out of that picture. They might have wanted to go on to 007X, but as you mentioned, Nage was out of mana, so there was really no point in doing that teleport. And if you do leave that teleport, you're gonna leave Lloyd and Valen up to free farm at the bot lane. That was really a questionable decision coming from Ethan. But since he did cancel that teleport, he will get the half that cooldown off, and he still manages to farm at bot.
Here's the interesting thing about what's happening in the mid lane. Nage over here is playing the lane bully of sorts. He's playing the LeBlanc. Lots of burst damage and is a ranged champion against G4's Fizz. However, looking at the CS score on the scoreboard right now, 28 on the Fizz to 19 of LeBlanc. G4 doing an excellent job of simply outclassing Nage in this mid lane.
Right, so we didn't really mention this, but BKT have been in the GPL for a very long time. They are the veteran team coming into this matchup. So having that lane dominance, having that experience in the game, they really... Ooh, 007 has left the game. Let's hope that... Oh, and he's back. Alright, so as I say, BKT, they have that experience. They know how to play these matchups, even if they are unfavorable. G4 managing to get that CS lead up against Nage. The assistance coming from 007 as that Pantheon gang might have played a factor into that, but it's really, really well played coming in from BKT. We do see that even in the other lanes, they are pretty even though it is a lane swap situation.
Definitely, nonetheless, the top laners are going to suffer a bit as we see Warlock already forced to burn through his mana pool very quickly. Now, Lulu's a very mana-gated champion. He spends his spells very quickly. 007X comes in with the gank. He lands his stun onto Eben, but with the rocket jump, and he's able to escape very easily away from that one.
Alright, so if you notice that 007 has put out 2 ganks, Meme on the other hand has opted to go for that Ranger's Trailblazer, so he's gonna get that jungle clear even faster. He's gonna skill up faster than 007X. 007X ganks did not really do much at all. He did slow down the progress of Nage, but he didn't really manage to slow down Ethan or Shura. So Meme has the upper hand now, and we'll be looking towards him on that first gang.
Well, on 007X's return to the base as well, he picked up the Stalker's Blade, which is going to give him an additional slow on form of CC to try and lock down Nage or perhaps even very mobile champions and prevent their escape. Nonetheless, Meme still yet to make his appearance in any lane to make any impact of any kind. We have to see what he tries to do with this Nautilus. He might be doing as you said though, I feel. He's trying to get the level 6 as fast as possible and then just going with a very strong gank the moment he has the death charge.
Well, Warlock just hit level 6, so Warlock has just gained another level of safety in that top lane. Doesn't feel like Meme will be ganking that lane anytime soon as he looks towards that bot lane. If Ethan does get that level 6, that is a very, very deadly combination, coming that Frozen Tome and the Anchor.
Here we go, Meme comes in the bottom lane, shows his face, but there's a lot of open space for Valen as well as Lloyd. The Duke can jive around. Ethan doesn't really pull the trigger just yet, but in the top lane we see the red turret going down as Eben as well as Shura actually get the turret, but in the mid lane G4 going for the dive, and it is going to be first blood to the Bangkok Titans.
Well,
here we go. Meme tries to do it off 007X. He's an entire level hit with auto farming, but is this an overextension? G4 goes in. They're still outside the range of the turret. Here comes the flash. Flash is in from Shura as well. He gets the dark win off, but no bouncing from the Crow.
Right, so we saw Nate staying a little bit too long in that mid lane, giving G4 and 007X an opportunity to get that kill down. We saw Shura and even pick up that top lane turret. Shura roaming down to gank that mid lane to support Meme as he tried to 1v2 the jungler and the mid laner. But if Iban decided to stay in that lane to get the extra farm, meant that they didn't have the damage output to secure the kill onto G4 or 007X.
Oh, there we go. Bubble onto Ethan. The phosphorus bomb really chunking him down pretty low. Ethan really forced to recall away from that one. And now Lloyd as well as Valen, will they be able to take this turret to try and put themselves a hit once again? BKT, despite being a turret down, they're doing a very good job in keeping up with goal, thanks to the kills that G4 has been able to pick up in the mid lane.
So it doesn't look like Lloyd or Valen will be looking towards to getting this turret. So BKT is gonna leave that turret up, gonna hope that they can get a gank off, with Eben coming back to the bot lane to farm up. We knowing that Tristana has to be in a lane to farm up and get that hyper scaling items, they might use that to their advantage. Having Pantheon's Grand Skyfall to really make a big play as Meme is up in the top lane. Doesn't seem like there's be much action though.
Oh, we might see a very strong roam coming in from GeForce Fizz over here, but nonetheless he returns back into the lane. He has the Charm the Waters available to him, so that's a very high power spike for the Fizz. When he has the very major ultimate, he gets the skill shot down onto anyone and he should be able to burst them down quite easy. Nonetheless, Meme hiding around the corner. He's gonna go for the death charge. He hits level 6. Oh, is this G4? No, bunch of trouble. There we go. It's the ultimate. Eben joins in the fight as well. Charm the Waters goes off onto the opponent mid laner, but Eben secures the kill with the buster shot.
Right, so right there we saw the power of Nautilus. The death charge just coming in. There was no way for G4 to escape. Getting the ethereal chain locked down from the LeBlanc meant that was one dead fish. And you mentioned it, Meme and his laners do have that kill potential as G4's gonna go in.
Oh, nah, okay, doing a little bit of trading back and forth with 007X, eventually using the distortion to disengage away from that one. Look a little bit hesitant from both parties. Neither of them sure what was happening over there. You rarely see a LeBlanc during of the Pantheon in such a situation. Usually there will be backup for either member, but in the case there was none for either, and it was simply a game of chicken.
Right, so as I mentioned before that, you said it, Meme has a very high kill potential combined with all his laners. Now that he has hit the 6, his first gank has put off very well, getting that kill on G4. 007X has put off multiple ganks, only getting one kill in that mid lane. He does have that Grand Skyfall, we'll be looking towards to see where he does that first drop. Meanwhile, the buffs are gonna go over to the mid laners, as we haven't saw as the G4 is gonna pick out the blue buff, so G4 is gonna have that mana to fight against Nage, and it will be up to Nage to keep the advantage now that he has the kill onto G4.
So after these two lanes have defaulted back into the original state, we start to see the strength of Corki start to push out against the Fiddlesticks as well as Tristana, Shura as well as Eben. They have to be very careful as how they approach this. You have to get a little bit too careless. The Nami bubble does land the phosphorus bomb, and the entire burst damage arsenal of Lloyd will be there to pick up a kill.
Right, so this is one of the points I was mentioning earlier. Lloyd and Valen deciding not to take down that turret meant that Eben and Shura has to come down to this lane to protect it. And knowing that they do have that better 2v2 in that lane, they are going to try and look for that kill. However, Meme is around the corner, so if they do pull off anything aggressive...
There we go, car, but the tidal wave, where is it going? Nonetheless, teleport comes in from the back. It's the Lulu, Warlock with the 3-man knockup. Here's the response, Grand Skyfall, lots of globals being popped. And now it's a 4-on-4 fight. Ethan comes in, Ring of Frost, doesn't hit anyone. The Frozen 2 misses as well. 007 gets feared up, but it's a double kill for Warlock as it picks up Ethan.
Oh, and that fish.
G4 still on the chase, he goes on the Shura. One more auto attack will be able to finish him off, but the charge, oh, the missile barely misses. And there we go.
Smited.
It's the smite on the champion to pick up the kill. BKT picking up an extended ace throughout the entire fight.
And this will open up that dragon for them, that first dragon. It's going to give them that 6% damage boost. This is a very, very big play coming from BKT. Even though Wargods were the one to start that fight, Meme going a little bit too deep. We know that Lloyd has the Valkyrie to get away, and the response from Warlock as well as 77X, they have that global Pantheon threat. They have the teleport coming from Warlock. That was a very, very nice play. BKT really using their globals to their advantage.
So Diamond's not showing Bangkok Titans the respect they deserve, and they get utterly decimated in the bottom lane. So let's see how things kind of stack up after this. So Freedom, run us through the items the Bangkok Titans have managed to pick up.
Alright, so the major thing we look out for is that Lloyd has picked up that Trinity Force. He will have that damage spike coming in to the rest of the game. Fizz on an G4 has picked up that Leech Bane. It's just to make him even more deadlier than he already is. Already made the amount of damage that he did on Nage before that, but
once again in the top lane, Warlock stuns eaten up. He's unable to use the Frozen Claw to escape, and that's gonna be another kill going over to 77X. 7-1 is the current score. Bangkok Titans starting to tear Wargods Diamond apart.
Back onto items though. So as I was mentioning about items, if we looked at 77X and Warlock, the reason that Ethan died so quickly was because...
Oh, there we go. G4 has charmed the water. This is 1v3. He gets one. How many more is he able to get? He gets stunned. He gets terrified. Shura flashes away. G4, he gets the charge up. It's a double kill. And he is still able to escape. My goodness, G4 carrying BKT in this game.
Wow, that is the power of the Leech Bane right there. Instant bursting Nage and just going after Shura, knowing that he has the damage to kill and get out before Meme even has anything to say to that. And it's like Ethan's just not gonna even try to fight Lloyd at this point of time. Every member of BKT has that power spike, as I was mentioning. 77X, oops.
Meanwhile, in the top lane, we completely missed that kill, but the Frozen Queen has been shattered to bits. The Witch has been slain. 77X as well as Warlock, just simply turning the Ice Queen into an ice popsicle.
Right, so before anyone else dies before this, I'm gonna explain once again why Ethan dies so quickly. The Morello Nomicon coming out from Warlock, he has that power spike. Nage is gonna go in for that kill.
Oh, he misses the Ethereal Chains, however, and he uses the second proc of the Distortion to disengage away. Meme tried to follow up from the back, but the Lulu, too slippery with the Whimsy, able to escape away.
Now, before any more action really occurs, let me finish my point. 77X has picked up that Stalker's Blade, as well as the Warrior Enchantment. So he does have that damage coming in. He's gonna be building that Brutalizer. So he's going all out damage. Everyone on BKT is gonna be dealing an insane amount of damage. And there's no one on the side of Wargods Diamonds who has the tanky stats to fend off the assault from BKT.
The whole Ethan going for a very defensive catch, hiding in his own jungle on top of a ping ward. This is Wargods. They're starting to lose control of the game bit by bit. Nonetheless, they have a very solid line of vision extended in their own half of the jungle. So that's going to give them a little bit of breathing space to try and find some plays to get around the 5,000 goal lead that the Bangkok Titans have had. Nonetheless, 77X is coming around. Is he going to put any pressure into this blue buff? Just camping at the top lane. Ethan taking a whole chunk of damage. Just look at the amount of chunk he takes from the glitter lens of Warlock.
Right, so Ethan's not really having the best of times now. He is getting camped by 77X. It is clear that they are targeting that Frost Queen. Meme has picked up on this, but it doesn't look like it'll go well for him.
There we go, two people coming around from the right side. This is a large collapse from Bangkok Titans. Extremely aggressive. 77X gets the stun onto Meme. Here comes G4. The bubble lands as well. Ethereal change. Do lock up G4 and will save his life.
Very nice chain coming in. G4 jumping on that pole a little bit too early. Didn't manage to get that chain off him before he landed. So Nage managing to save Meme's life, but look at the damage that Meme took. He is the tankiest member on Diamonds, yet he is falling as fast as the rest.
So the pusher is going to be delayed a little bit. Bangkok Titans, the very aggressive attack in the top lane, but nothing really coming out of it. They tried to go for Meme, but they weren't able to pick up the extremely tanky Nautilus. And then now, what they're going to do, it looks like they're just going to keep on focusing in that area. It's very focused attack in the top lane. Just look at where all the wards have been placed. Pink wards as well, lots of greens.
They are keeping Shura together with Iban. 77X looks towards this Nage in the mid lane, and it doesn't look like he's going to live out of this.
So it's the mid lane turret that will be the focus. G4 comes in. He's going to wait for the stun to land, however. Nate with a very good distortion to jump over the wall. If he stayed there any second longer, G4 would have gotten the shock and charmed the waters off. Meanwhile, in the bottom, here comes 007X as well as Warlock. Bangkok Titans just being all over the map. And again, a very solid kill onto Eben. Shura against the Terrifier onto G4. Nage coming around from the mid lane. But Valen as well as 007X will be there to respond, and Bangkok Titans just slowly but surely choking Wargods out of the game.
So that was a very nice play from BKT. They put so much emphasis on top lane. They let Eben and Shura think that, oh, they'll be fine in the bot lane. We have two here, they have Lloyd just alone. But after that mid lane gang that failed, 007X with his global presence, Warlock with the teleport, just going down to that bot lane in an instant, and that sense of security is gone. And Eben and Shura is not going to do anything against 4 members of BKT. And a very nice collapse coming in from the side of BKT. Pick up another kill. Meme has to step up and use the death charge to the fullest capacity. He has only used it once this game and picked up 1 kill. And there's nothing else.
Nonetheless, Diamonds currently sitting at the bottom of the table. I will have to say Bangkok Titans were the clear favorites in this game, and they're showing us why. 11-1 currently, with a very healthy 6,000 gold lead at about 18 minutes. Diamonds, they need to pull off quite a miracle comeback if they want to catch up Bangkok Titans.
And
but
if you look,
nonetheless, they have. I do believe they have the tools to do so over here. They have the death charge. They have the Lysandra with the frozen tome as well. But the question is, are they able to get the vision to make the plays?
right, so before this fight breaks out, I have to point out that Warlock has built that Mikhail's Crucible, you know, so that's gonna stop one of their hard CCs that is gonna come out from the side of Wargods Diamonds. So BKT respecting the CC that's coming out from Diamonds, they are itemizing against that. So look, if we on Wargods Diamonds' hands to really play around the defensive items that are coming.
Diamonds, they tried to trade objectives, but here comes 007X with the speed up from the Nami. They catch up me, Mr. Stun into the bubble, and it will be a dead jungler as G4 gets the last hit and the kill.
So trying to get that mid turret in exchange for the dragon, they weren't fast enough to get a turret. The amount of damage coming from BKT, they took that dragon down in an instant. Diamond had no time to respond. They were caught out of position trying to get a mid lane turret. Didn't really expect BKT to come out that fast, but yeah, Meme just getting caught out once again.
Bangkok Titans simply tearing through Wargods. Diamonds, they tried to pull off some exchanges. They tried to get themselves back into the game, but Bangkok Titans, too smart for that, too good for that, and punishing Wargods at every turn of the game.
Wargods are really in a very, very gloom situation right now. So they do have the Frozen Tome, they have the Death Charge. Nage does have a Morello comp. That should be enough damage coming out to clear up at least one member of BKT. G4 is gonna recall at the ward, but Meme's not gonna let him do that. So BKT extremely damage focused. They don't have much tank items, so Wargods still have that chance to eliminate a single target and slowly take the fight from there. Tristana has completed his Infinity Edge. Maybe that is the chance that Wargod Diamonds need to get back into this game.
I feel that the Trinity, that the Infinity Edge will be a little bit too late, but nonetheless, he does pick up a kill. 2 against 1 against Lloyd in the bottom lane. A lot of people hit Lloyd as it's really mechanically sound AD here, but here comes G4. Is this him being too careless? He gets stunned up, he gets slowed up, and it is gonna be the shutdown. What is BKT doing?
Right, so this is the comeback that was bashing for PID, the Wargods Diamonds. They have everything that they need. They have the damage, they have the CC, and with BKT making such misplays like that, they are gonna get that bot lane turret. It's gonna close up that goal gap so slightly, but it is their first step into taking this game back into the reins.
Well, they're definitely not in the clear just yet. They're still sitting behind by about 6,000 gold. The major items are completed on the side. Bangkok Titans already in another 500 gold. The Zonya's Hourglass will be complete on G4, and that's when the Fizz will start becoming a true terror to deal with on the side of Wargods. And there we go. It's a blind man drop coming from 007X and Eben, I mean, will be dropping instantly as Warlock will be there to back him up.
So Lloyd getting called out by Shura and Eben, probably from the Terrify. Not gonna happen anymore now that he has that Quicksilver Sash. Wargods Diamonds chances are getting slimmer and slimmer as BKT are really respecting the CC that's coming out from Wargods Diamonds. So they do have the damage. They don't have the tankier stats, but who needs defense where you can just burst the enemy before they burst you?
Definitely indeed. Sometimes offense is the best defense. And the best form of CC, of course, will be death. They can't cast any spells, they can deal any damage when the character is dead.
So Ethan's gonna try to push out this top lane, but BKT is just not gonna say anything to that. They're gonna take that bot lane turret. Are they gonna continue? Looks like they are, as they're gonna send Warlock back to defend, but
Nage tries to come in to trade a little bit of damage, but nonetheless, Bangkok Titans, they will be backing away. The Lissandra still split pushing at the top lane, but here we have Warlock responding to that already really fast into the top lane with the Whimsy, giving it the movement speed boost. Oh, Bangkok Titans, they're going to try and wrap around. Will they be able to find the Lissandra? This is where the Jaws team plays. Shura is there to back him up. Double 7x, a little bit of trouble. The Frozen Tomb goes onto him. He's forced to blow the flash. And is this going to be a contest over the Ray buff? Nage tries to go in for it. Here comes the teleport. G4 tries to go for it, but it is smited away. It goes on to, I believe, Meme in the end.
right, so you can see there, BKT didn't have the vision they needed to spot out Ethan, and when they went for Ethan to get a kill, they didn't even notice that PID have the defense coming in. The team was responding, they knew that Ethan was being targeted, so they looped around and tried to catch a 7x out. But with that major goal advantage that BKT has, even without that vision, they still managed to get out of that and even try and almost turn around that fight. BKT do have to step out their vision game, as they are doing now. They have warded around that blue buff, and it looks like they are doing the Baron buff.
But let's look at the important things that are happening on the screen. BKT, they are doing up the Baron at this moment. Let's take a look at that, and it's gonna be finished. 2,000 health left, and no vision, and no response at all from PID Diamond.
Right, so both teams really don't have that vision game at hand. BKT have that leeway to mess around. They do have that 10k goal lead right now, as well as that Baron buff, so you'll be looking for them to close out the game. They do have the pushing power that they need. Corki has insane tower pushing capabilities. Fizz with that leash base is gonna take out turrets in a few seconds.
You know, when people play LeBlanc, they tend to get lots of nicknames such as the Destroyer, the Deceiver, the Insta-Gibber, but in this case, Nage, his LeBlanc, has become the booking lady. He's become the ticketing lady because he's bought two of the same book, the Moralnomicons. Maybe it's the spirit of Christmas, maybe it's the spirit of giving, and he thinks that good things come in pairs. So he decided to pick up the double book in this case. What do you think about this, Freedom?
Librarian Nage with his double Moralnomicon. I mean, it is a viable option, but it does give him the stats that he needs, but it's not the stats that they want to deal against BKT. We do know that BKT are very squishy, but that double Moralnomicon is not gonna help if they can't even get close, they can't even
Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, G4 instantly gets down to Shura. The Charm the Waters goes onto Eben, and it is the Urchin Strike to pick it up. It's a double kill. G4 fighting one against two and coming out ahead.
Right, so in that scenario, Nage is gonna look for G4.
Nage trying to get the assassination of the G4 into bottom lane. It's a duel between the mid laners, but G4 will go down. No, G4 gets the kill, but we're still looking at the top lane. Oh, Observer, come on, Observer. Better step up your game over here.
Right, so those two books did nothing against G4. We saw G4 on a quarter health, and he had the element of surprise. There was no vision in that bot lane for G4 to even know that Nage was there, and he still got killed.
Engaged onto Lloyd, but there's a Quicksilver Sash coming to fruition as he's able to simply get rid of all the CC coming in from the Nautilus. And in the bottom lane, G4 simply picks up the turret. Oh, is he going to go for Eben? I believe Charm the Water should be coming out in a few seconds. Eben getting the static shift, getting a critical strike of the static shift instead. And that should be enough to deter G4 away from that. But this forward still has been working wonders for Bangkok Titans. They get the depth charge onto the Nautilus. Shura comes in, fears up the Corki. Nage tries to get the damage down. Ethan just all the CC being blown onto Lloyd, but he is still alive and he's turning around, dealing so much damage. It's a 2-for-0. Tristana gets around the damage over time, picking up the Panther on the backline. Nage next one to fall. Ethan falls instead. Now Nage barely surviving with a sliver of health. This should be the final stand of PID Diamond as Bangkok Titans is simply cleaning up their opponent's base, picking up the inhibitors, and it looks like they aren't going to end the game just yet.
Well, the Baron buff did time out on the side of BKT. They really did use that Baron buff to their advantage. They managed the 4-1 split push. G4 wrecking havoc at the bot lane alone. Warlock is gonna go for Nage. Not gonna get it. LeBlanc is gonna very sneaky. But as I was saying, Fizz can take that turret very quickly with that Lich Bane. Looks like it will be just a matter of time before BKT just smashes into the base of Wargods Diamonds and just take the game from there.
Definitely indeed, 16,000 gold hit on the side of Bangkok Titans. 3 major items completed on all of the champions. A Mikhail's been completed, but Warlock in the top lane as well.
Right, so Warlock's Mikhail's really played a big factor in that fight. Quicksilver Sash and Mikhail's. Even Valen having a Mikhail's Crucible, meaning that there's no way any of the hard CC is gonna really lock down any member of BKT, and they're just gonna take the fight in their own hands. They have the countermeasures to their CC, they have the damage, they have the turret pushing power, and they have the map control, so it looks like G4 is just gonna go around hunting the members of Wargods.
There we go, that man dropped right off the Shura. He had no idea they were there, but he gets a kill. Nonetheless, G4 comes in for the back for the cleanup. They get 1, they get 2, will they get number 3? Mim in a whole bunch of trouble. G4 looking monstrous. He gets the third kill for his team as he picks up, and now Meme completely gives up as he simply falls to G4's Fizz. Now Lloyd is simply clean up duty right now. We see the Quicksilver session misses the missile, but that should be enough. I do believe that this is going to be game for the Bangkok Titans. They're going to get a second inhibitor, and here they go, moving on to the Nexus towers themselves. The first star is going to fall very quickly. Shura has respawned. Is he able to pull off the defense? Bangkok Titans, are they going to stick around? No, looks like they're going to be backing off instead. Playing things very safely, very disciplined. They do not want to throw their lead away.
Right, so with that 17,000 gold, 18,000 gold lead, it's gonna be 19,000 soon, but with that gold lead in hand, BKT is not gonna rush it. They're just gonna play it safe, take down every single turret. You know, like Wolf likes to say it, play it tutorial mode, taking every single structure in the base of the enemy team, making sure that they have complete victory. We're not letting up. It's not gonna let even a slightest chance of Wargods to come back into the game. But I mean,
at this point of Wargods, they want to win the game. They need to win 3 team fights in a row, and then maybe they might have a chance against the Bangkok Titans. They need Bangkok Titans to dive the fountain repeatedly for Wargods to even have a chance to get back into the game. We saw G4 dueling out 3 people, 1 against 3 in the bottom lane.
Right, so it's really a matter of time before BKT takes this game. So how, as a team like Wargods Diamonds, they are the weaker team coming into this matchup. Oh, even dies off screen.
The loss of Death's been cut off screen at the moment, but I don't really blame our observer because the amount of burst damage coming from Bangkok Titans is just way too much for PID Diamonds. The moment they're out of position, this is there, Pantheon is there, Wham Blam and the sub-member deleted off the map. So they're gonna go for the one last inhibitor in the game before finally closing things out. There is no Tristana available for the Wargods team, and there we go. G4 engages onto me with a single urgent strike that is already 1/4 of his health.
Right, so at this point of time, you have to think, Wargods Diamonds, they are losing this fight, and Ethan's just gonna go down.
Oh, we think gets stood up is the stun coming from 007X as well. G4 gets the charge and the urgent strike down. He picks up 1, he pops the Zonias. PID Diamonds unable to get any kills of any kind, is simply boosting their own KD and climbing the stab as much as possible for the Bangkok Titans.
Alright, so very well played game coming from BKT, proving and showing why they are the top team in the group, showing why they are the veterans in the GPL, closing out this game with a 22,000 goal lead. Very well played coming in from the Bangkok Titans.
Very dominating game 1 performance coming in from the Bangkok Titans. Congratulations to them. They're currently 1-0 and up. Once again, casting this game is Jay Thomas vs. I Freedom. But before we go to a break, let's take a look at the score screen. Let's go. Score screen. Up here.
Are we not?
Never mind, I Freedom. So now, if you are PID Diamond, what do you do in the second game? Do you try to change things up? Do you stay with the LeBlanc Nautilus combination? Or do you try to mix things up a little bit? Go for a different plan of sorts? against Bangkok Titans.
I mean, they did have the key factors they needed to win against BKT. They have the signature champions. Meme on Nautilus. He is known to play Nautilus. They know how to play the Death Charge. We saw that. Meme's first gang, the Death Charge, Ichiro Chase, LeBlanc. They have that formula to take down the champions, but they just don't have the lane mechanics or just the power to fight against BKT in a jungle sense. So playing around that, they might want to force the lane swap and really play that lane swap to a better combat potential. I mean, Ethan Deary did nothing, so
definitely indeed. So Ethan was kind of stifled by his own team's lane swap, but nonetheless, that's a breakdown for Game 1. This is Jay Summon casting with me is I Freedom. We'll be right back after the break.